meeting, and I will start the meeting with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item this evening would be personnel.
We have just one item on personnel for this evening, looking for approval to hire Dana Ruiz to be a food service substitute worker. She would be available to both Wanatah and LaCrosse.
I make a motion to approve her for food service sub for Wanatah.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. The next item this evening will be the education budget hearing. Do I have a motion to open the floor for the education budget hearing by the board?
I'll make a motion to open the floor for that.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So what you have in the packet, you are looking at Form 4, which displays the appropriations and tax rates. The budget is displays what our max levy is, and that this year's max levy is just a shade under 8,000 above what last year's max levy was. Debt service decreased a little bit, and operations increased a little bit.
Are there any questions on the education budget? If not, I'll ask for a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing on the education budget.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item this evening would be the capital projects plan hearing. Do I have a motion by the board to open the hearing for capital projects?
I'll make a motion to open for capital projects.
Second.
All in favor?
And for the capital projects, you have a copy of the plan. This is the same copy that's submitted in Gateway and posted on the website. We have a budget tab on the website that takes you to both the plans.
Most of these things are just assumptions based upon historical figures.
That's right.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, these really are just guesstimates on this portion.
Did you factor in any of the concerns for drop in revenues from the state then, or really no way of knowing what that is?
Not at this point.
I didn't know how.
Really placeholders.
Yeah.
Are there any questions on the capital projects plan?
I have a couple questions. So first off, I'm wondering, when you guys print an amount in your capital projects plan, are you guys bound by that to use that money for that purpose in the future? Or can it be used for other things within the operations fund?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of- In my opinion, honestly, Justin, I don't know the correct answer. That's a good question. I don't know if you have a better result. I think we need to ask. You typically, it's not been initially issue. I know that you have an appropriation associated with each one of your accounts, but I'm not 100% sure we can get back to you on that.
Yeah, it would be great to know, because one of the things I looked back through the past capital projects plans going back to 2015, and the school has raised $1.4 million in land acquisition and development, and I'm wondering, what was this money used for, or is it being kept in a bank account somewhere, or what's the status of it?
As Mr. Shepherd said, again, in my understanding, and we can verify this for you, so it's just a placeholder for the events that we take place. They give it, it's not like an expense account, we give it an encumbrance associated, or not an encumbrance, but an appropriation assigned to it. So I don't know, you have a different understanding than myself.
The budget's built to raise the max levy.
Okay, I mean, I imagine when you pick these categories that you put these allocations into, there's probably a reason that you put the largest amount into land acquisition and development. Is there some sort of purpose behind that, or rationale?
It's the same answer I gave you last year. That's the budget I picked up from the previous superintendent. That's what those figures were. Basically move them ahead a year.
So there's not really any rationale then.
Not much.
So the capital projects plan that you guys have is different in format from what the DLGF has as a template on their website. And I'm wondering, and it's different from what some other school corporations use as well. And I'm wondering why ours is less detailed than what the state prescribes and what statute prescribes. Is there any reason that this is less detailed?
The budget help that we've hired to assist me with building the budget said use this form.
Okay. So do you guys have more detailed estimates that you use in the formulation of this?
No.
Then how come you guys didn't just indicate that you didn't have those records when I requested them on Monday?
You'll have to talk to our attorney about that. I believe she responded to you.
Well, I think you guys would know the answer. It's the record that you guys have. So my concern is, when I requested records on Monday, I asked for 5 different things. One of them was related to today's budget hearing. I was asking for the more detailed numbers that go into this capital projects plan, which, I mean, statute says you're supposed to create. So I asked for it because I was looking for it. I delivered the request on Monday to the school, buzzed the thing, and they let me in, and I went up to the secretary's office, handed it to her. A short while later, as I was on my way to another meeting, I got an email from Mr. Shepherd indicating that the school has a new form that I have to fill out for records requests, which the school is within the right to do. So I went back and had to wait at the door. They didn't let me inside the school this time. I had to wait outside while they brought down the form to me. So I went back to the office, filled in the form. Literally every single thing in that form was already in the letter. But I filled it out nonetheless and brought it back. The school then took about 50 hours to respond to it. You guys have 24 hours by statute to say yes or no whether or not you're approving the request. Doesn't mean that you have to provide the documents then, just whether or not you're approving it. And then you have a reasonable time period to provide the records. Now, my concern is when I get this answer from the school's attorney, she says that she may not be able to produce the more detailed list for the capital projects plan, the more detailed version of this, due to it may implicate protected school safety materials. And I'm wondering what the heck could be in your guys' capital projects plan and a detailed list of things that you guys plan to spend that would implicate protected school safety materials.
I'm going to direct you back to the school attorney. She gave you a response on that. Direct that question to her.
Okay, isn't this kind of fulfilling your concern before that we're wasting taxpayer dollars by having to go through the attorney? I mean, you know the answer to this. What does it implicate? Okay.
You do realize it's a public hearing for answering questions about the budget and how the money works, right?
And that's what we're doing.
I think
You're
yes.
kind of you're directing me to your attorney, which is, oh, well, there she is. Hi, Monica.
So how do we get the answers about the budget and the capital projects before the hearing closes and you approve the budget?
So we've already given the answer as to how the capital project plan was built. I gave you an answer for that.
It's just built through arbitrage, though. There's no actual.
That's exactly right.
So you tell taxpayers that you just arbitrarily compiled a budget, and that's how you determine how to tax the residents in Tri-Township.
Arbitrarily to generate the max levy to come into that fund.
So there's not necessarily a necessary purpose, just you're trying to max out the maximum amount of taxes that you can extract down to taxpayers.
That's for how budgets are built.
No, that's not how they're built.
In schools, I mean, that's, you can talk to consultants, but that's what consultants will tell you. And that's what you're supposed to do, especially when you look at what's happening in the general assembly in the spring.
To max out the budget without purpose.
No, that's the way you, I just got off the phone with somebody else at another school district who's a CFO there. That's how you build your budgets. That's what you're supposed to do when you build your budget.
Okay,
I
this
wonder
is
why government-wide schools are so different than cities, towns. They actually request the money that they are going to need, not just,
I know of no CFO who would do it any other way.
okay.
that would be the problem with the education system today.
A question for you then might be, you had indicated in your letter that the reason for not being able to provide the more detailed capital projects plan may be that it implicates protected school safety materials. What type of,
Yeah, right. If you got something about my letter, call me and we'll deal with that later.
well, we're trying to address it as part of this public hearing.
Yeah, I know, but you and I can talk about that later. That's not part of this.
Kind of is, it's the detailed capital projects plan.
Well, that's, my letter is not this. It's not on the agenda.
Okay,
This is the detailed capital project plan.
this is not the detailed capital projects plan. The statute calls for it to be the plan must include all proposed expenditures that exceed $10,000 and are for, 1, capital assets, or 2, projects that are considered capital in nature. It's supposed to be far more specific. I'd encourage you to take a look at like what South Bend does. They actually break it out into specific things that they're anticipating doing. South Bend, actually. I think that concludes my questions. I don't think,
We'll know the answer.
yeah.
Do I have a motion by the board to close the capital projects hearing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. Next item would be the bus replacement plan hearing. Do I have a motion to open the hearing for bus replacement?
Make a motion to open the bus replacement hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you have in your packet both the notice and the bus replacement plan for the years 19 through 23.
Are there any questions on the bus replacement plan? If not, I'll ask for a motion to close the hearing on bus replacement plan.
I'll make a motion to close on the bus replacement plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Next item would be the 2021 capital projects plan.
And at this, on this item, I'm looking for approval for the 2021 capital project plan.
I make a motion to approve the capital project plan for 2021.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Do we have a motion for the approval of the 2021 bus replacement plan?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 bus replacement plan.
And do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I do want to just give Mr. Gabriel an opportunity to give a Wanatah update. I know you recently heard from Mr. McMahon, but if Mr. Gabriel wants to give us a few principal report on Wanatah.
Some great news to share here. Just since the beginning of school, we're approaching our 7th week here now, and the mask and safety protocols are going very well. I want to personally thank the board and the community too for support about signage and going forward with kids in school, especially with our rollout plan. It worked out really well with our K through 2 coming in first, and then our 3 through 5 followed by our 6 through 8, which put us at 100% capacity with our 15% or so that are still remote learning right now. But I think the key to success there is our small class sizes. So right now, we were fortunate to split our big 5th grade class and have 2, and we hit, I think, two really gold stars with our 2 new teachers that came in, replacing Khalees Reinbold with Victoria Benavunti and Haley Smith, our new 5th grade teacher too, and 2 outstanding new staff members to add on to the team. So very, very grateful for that. Also fortunate for the IXL program. I know that is brand new right now, and our K through 8 is excited about having that, not only for math and English, but the first year we also have science and social studies added in too. So additional tools for them that they're excited about, and our new reading program that aligns with the high school, with middle school study sync, and our elementary reading program as well too. So it's the first of a 6-year subscription for reading, but it is up to date, if you will, and engaging with the students. So I know that's been a work in progress getting the order in place with the first year, but it is here now, and we are up and running in our 1-year series. And then just this October, we're planning on a couple big things here. With we kick off October with a CARES program, doing a coat and boot drive, and then we're shifting to have some events here at the school. We're talking about getting potentially a pumpkin patch for our replacement field trip. And then also another big up-and-coming event for the community is our Veterans Day program. I know that is a Tri-Township community event, and we still want to do that day or honor it as best as we can. We're developing a plan as we speak here. But the general outline of that day, I think we're still going to have our K through 5 record their traditional events that they do. The kindergarten through 5 always has a specific rite of passage, if you will, once you get to that grade level, the pledge, all the way through a flag procedure. They have a great program put together. We want to record it and send it to the veterans some way, somehow, and then also shift to a supply drive at the school. So those talks are really, really recent for our shift to our Veterans Day program. But very grateful for all the things that we have going on here at Wanatah, and things are going well.
Great, it's good to hear.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm going to add a little bit for the general public back to the question posed about the arbitrary nature of raising the max levy. The complete purpose for Tri-Township to raise the max levy in any capacity is because we are upside down paying our bills. We have to have every conceivable dollar we can raise in any one of these funds through that max levy. And even doing that, we're overspending on people to the tune of $300,000. It's just how it is. So, yeah, this piece of paper here has arbitrary stuff on it, but it's to ensure, building that budget is to ensure that we're raising every dollar we can so that we can stay in business. So that's a little bit
It's always
more.
my understanding from Mr. Summers, the superintendent, and going forward, is that you basically ask for as much as you can because everybody else in the state's doing the same thing.
That's the basis of my, now, granted, board, I want you to understand, this is year 3 for me. There's a reason we pay $6,000 to have me have assistance building the budget, because you don't do it 2.5 times and have it learned completely. But I will throw a question back the other direction, which is, why the question now? Because this is the same thing I did 2 years ago, the same thing I did last year. It's the same thing when I get in the files and I look back at how the budget was built, it's the same thing. Why the?
I've actually been asking this question
Why
since
the-
Tim Summers was
the real drill
superintendent.
down on the question now, just curiosity, and I'm actually not looking for an answer. I think we've already adjourned.
Yes.
Our next board meeting, October 22nd at LaCrosse. Thank you for everyone's attendance.
You still didn't tell me how much my taxes are going Good job, good job. Fine, getting their attention. And why is the whole building meeting on what they're supposed to be doing? And why is it important?
Do we have to wait until it's printed in the paper to see this?
To see what?
Do we have
They
to
don't
wait?
print it in the paper anymore.
No, the legislature did away with
Do
that.
we have to go online?